house always wins. Play long enough, you never change the stakes, the house takes you. Unless, when that perfect hand comes along, you bet big, and then you take the house. I've been practicing this good. A little bit. Did I rush it? Felt like I rushed.
That was good. I liked it.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Big Easy Bets podcast. I'm your host, Logan. With me in the studio, Nick Von Brick.
Yo.
Bam is on a work retreat to try to become a better chiropractor and injure less people, so he's not with us today in the booth. We will be solo camera today, so it's the price we got to pay. We pay this guy to show up. He doesn't show up. He's trying to further his education. Did he even let you know he wasn't going to be here?
Last week.
Just sprung it on you?
Yeah, like... Where's he going to meditate?
Ohio, yeah. It's like some ayahuasca retreat or something. Who knows? That chiropractic shit, it's like it might as well be voodoo witchcraft. But yeah, one camera. We'll make do. We'll power through. We got him again in the NFL, another profitable week. College, still a struggle for me. Just cannot figure it out. I do feel good this week, but take that for what it's worth, which is nothing because I felt good the last probably 2 or 3 weeks. We do have a couple things to dive into. We had a great first week of the third quarter of our contest that we're in, which, as we said, there's a winner overall, but there's also quarterly winners. So we got off to a 4-1 start. I was so mad watching that Packers game last night. And did you even stay up for it?
I didn't watch till the end.
I knew it. And I was sitting there so mad, and I was like, I stayed up for this, and this is what I get. I had a Packers hat. It's gone. I ripped that hat almost in half, which we'll get to that in the recap. But I'm out on the Packers. I'm out. I almost cashed out of the futures bet I have on them just out of spite. But I'm like, watch, they'll get hot. They'll go on a run. I'll look like an idiot. I was like, I'll let it go. Hit that like and subscribe button if you don't mind. We are, I think, 14 subscribers away from 1,000 subs. That was one of our goals coming into this season. You can help us get there if you haven't done so already. I really, really do appreciate it. Brian Kelly is suing LSU. Did I read that correctly? We're doing some messy stuff. And this is honestly worrisome for, like, the prospect, like finding a new coach. I don't think this looks good for the university, because they're now coming back and like, oh, well, saying Woodward didn't have authorization to fire him, and then so there was no. It wasn't like a. What am I looking for? It wasn't like a legitimate firing. It was kind of just they're making it seem like it was a mutual. Like, yeah, we should go separate ways, but he wasn't officially fired yet. So now they're trying to say they're firing him for cause, like he breached his contract in some way because he doesn't want to take a renegotiated buyout. That seems odd, right? I mean, there was the rumor floating around. I'm sure you heard it about he cheated on his wife allegedly with his realtor. That was the rumor floating around. Not from me.
Oh, so they're trying to say he violated a morals clause.
Exactly, a morality clause. Gotcha.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure when they came around trying to give him 25, 30 million, he was like, all right.
That's a lot less than 55.
I want my other 25 million. How about that?
No, and I do think I keep saying people say, like, good, we need to push back on these coaches' buyouts. It's like, or don't offer them that much. Like, don't offer them that much guaranteed money and then, like, set a new precedent. And maybe we'll be the ones that set the new precedent going forward for how these contracts are structured. We really may be, because people have thrown out some good ideas for, like, incentive-based structured contracts, which makes sense. No one's taking a coaching job thinking they're going to fail. And if you are, you're not the right guy for the job. So it should be, in my opinion, like, I agreed with a couple of the different things that I saw where it's like, if you make the college football playoff, you get a huge bump. If you win a game in the playoff, you get a huge bump. So it's all predicated on your success, and I think that's the way it should be. So you can't come in like Brian Kelly and not live up to lofty expectations, but this is LSU. If you don't live up to them, now it's time to go. And now we're going to, I guess, we're going to get in the mud and try to say, God only knows I mean, that's where Governor Jeff Landry might shine. That might be his wheelhouse, like getting into the mud with Brian Kelly. Because he'll get up there and make an ass of himself on national television and then do a media tour on Pat McAfee's show. I was like, oh, my God. Pat McAfee's, like, regurgitating the accent back to Jeff Landry. I was like he's like a clown, and they're, like, laughing at him. And I don't think he knows it.
Yeah. What was I thinking? Oh. When did the 10-year contract become a thing? Like, who wants...
It's a long time. Yeah.
Like, what happened to 5 years? Because if it was a 5-year contract, then you're buying them out just 1 year. It's like, I don't know.
It's a good point.
I don't know where this 10-year contract shit started.
Yeah, that's a good point. And clearly a bad deal by Woodward. So is it Woodward or Woodard? It's Woodward. I keep seeing people say,
I don't know.
Who cares? He's gone. Fuck him. Yeah, 5 years makes way more sense. And if he does great, guess what you do? You renegotiate and you sign him. You give him an extension. So I don't know. We'll see. I don't think this is a good look, though, for the university. I don't think it's a good look for anybody else willing to come coach at LSU. Do I think it's going to really affect it in the grand scheme of things? No. It's still LSU, but it looks bad. Like, hey, if you suck, we're going to come out and say you're a piece of shit and you deserve to be fired. I don't know. We'll see how it plays out. Tyler Shucks shined for the Saints in a win over the Carolina Panthers. I'll ask you the clickbait question that everybody else has been asking on Twitter, but do you think the Saints have found their franchise quarterback?
I'm all in on Shuck now.
Actually?
Yeah. I was incredibly impressed by him.
I was as well, but okay.
But all I need to see it is just once, and I'm like,
I saw it at Louisville, but I understand that's Louisville. This is the pros. But I saw some of the throws he was capable of making, and I was like, this dude's fucking good. Like, all the arm talent in the world. But what I saw against Carolina that was really impressive was the ability to not panic under pressure, which Spencer Rattler had that too. He was willing to stand in the pocket and take hit. Like, he wasn't scared. But his ability to navigate the pocket, reset his feet, and make good throws, keeping his eyes down the field. You just saw it last night with Jordan Love. Maybe you didn't because I guess you tapped out in the second half. But if this motherfucker would keep his eyes downfield, Romeo Doubs is wide open often. But he gets pressure, and then he's running for his life. He's not looking. But he's stepping up in the pocket. And he's just not – it's like right in front of him. I don't know how he's missing it. But that was one thing that I saw from Tyler Shuck, that it was like elite level, like he looked like he belonged is what that means. It's what that meant to me. And I keep seeing a lot of people that are like, did the Saints find their franchise quarterback? It's like, who the fuck knows? But if he comes out and does that next game, where I'm going to lean more towards a yes. And if he does it the game after that, I'm going to lean more towards a yes. If he closes out the season continuing to show improvement and promise and what we saw against Carolina, and I love the people that get up on their soapbox and like, it's Carolina, guys. Like the Rattler fans. It's so weird to me, like picking one guy or the other. Like, it jumped off the page, his ability. So you should be, if you weren't in Shuck's corner, you should be now. You should be a little excited about the prospect of what he could be. But I keep seeing people say, oh, it's Carolina. Carolina just beat who? Fucking the Packers. They just beat Green Bay. It's the NFL. If you can do that against an NFL defense, that was one of the better run defenses for 4 or 5 week span in the NFL. Carolina, I'm talking about. So they can take one part. Like, it's an NFL defense, and it's not a bottom-of-the-barrel NFL defense. Like, they have talent. I just think it's crazy how people try to move the goalposts and all of that. I mean, what stood out to you the most that you're all in his corner now?
Yeah, I think it's the biggest thing nowadays is being able to the pocket presence, to be able to move around comfortably through the pocket and deliver passes.
And he's got the mobility too. When he takes off to go, he's got some wheels. Like dare I say it, he's kind of like a little mini Josh Allen. Not mini, but like he's got that capability. Maybe not that athletic, but he does have wheels. When he takes off to go, he can go. And he's 6'4".
Yeah.
I remember I saw him in the mall. He's fucking big.
Well, the first guy, on that first big play on third down where he nearly got sacked, and then to not panic after that because he's nearly brought down for a big loss.
Yeah.
And then to step up through the pocket and find the wide open guy. That's where I was like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, you just see little signs of the ability to play quarterback at this level. And then the deep ball to a lot. He can throw a deep ball. He can throw we saw it in the preseason game against the Rams. He throws the pick six, comes right back and hits a deep ball. So, yeah, I don't think we need to like I said, I was asking you the clickbait question. In all seriousness, I don't think we need to jump the gun. Like, this is our guy. Let's just see what he does. That was a promising start. There's a lot to be excited about from what you saw there. And it would be super refreshing to be able to go like, this might be the guy. Like, we think we found him, and then now we can go address other needs with what's going to be a top 3 draft pick, in a quarterback class that all of a sudden looks significantly worse than what we thought coming into the year. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot of other great players, though, outside the quarterback position.
Oh, yeah, no, without a doubt. But that's what I'm saying. But if you don't have a quarterback, in my opinion, you should be all hands on deck to find that quarterback no matter what. So if we feel confident that we got our guy, you could see Kellen Moore smiling fucking ear to ear. Like, he looked like he was like, we got him. So then, yeah, you can do so many different things. Because say we get number 1, but the Jets want a quarterback. Trade back. Get move to 3 and get another first-round pick, whatever. Like, get some of the picks back that you keep giving away from people out of fucking northern Iowa. Let's pivot back to LSU. Garrett Nussmeier was benched, and I don't think you liked it.
Oh, I did not like that at all. I thought it was quite possibly one of the dumbest things I've ever seen.
Van Buren.
It's the first time, let me say this. It's the first time I've ever seen a quarterback that was 18 for 21 and had no turnovers get benched.
Yeah.
Acting like the problems on offense were his fault.
Yeah, and I texted you asking, like, what the hell happened? Because I, walked away for a second, and then I was like, was he playing that bad? So, no, it wasn't jumping off the page to me that he was playing that bad.
I think if they wouldn't have benched him, LSU would have covered.
Yeah, that's fair to say, but I don't know. I went back and watched, and it's like every throw was at the line of scrimmage. So it's like, yes, he was 18 to 21. And you can put that on him. You can put that on play calling. You can put that wherever. I'm not entirely sure. I think and I
thought his final drive was his best drive.
Yeah.
Other than the sack, but it's like at that point it's 3rd and long, where it's a long shot to score from right there anyway.
That sack was so bad though. That sack was fucking.
Yeah, but in the grand scheme of things, LSU just had probably less than a 10% chance to score a touchdown on that play without him getting sacked.
Yeah, I understand that. But it's just the optics of it, though. To turn the way he turned, like he needed to roll out. Don't turn around. Like, it just looked really bad. And like I said, I went back and watched it. I didn't go look at what his average depth of target was, but a large chunk of the throws were like at or behind the line of scrimmage, and I just don't know what happened. It's like I said midway through this year. I was like, I think I'm out. I think I'm off the wagon. And you've stayed on it to the end. And it sounds like he's back to getting the starter reps, and I think he should start. Van Buren came in and
did nothing.
He had a couple throws that it was like
shit throws in the dirt that were barely caught.
Yeah, you're a little biased, though, I think. He didn't look good. He was 5 for 11, but he had a couple throws that were like, he's got some decent arm talent. What do you mean? He threw a couple into
in the dirt.
Into a tight. What do you mean in the dirt?
He was throwing them in the damn dirt.
He threw a couple.
3 of them were in the dirt.
15 yards down the field, like in between 2 defenders.
Yeah, I mean, we got 1 field goal. He was in for 3 drives, 4 drives maybe. We got 1 field goal off of a Harold Perkins strip sack that was already in field goal range. It's the only points we got with him.
Yeah, I mean, what did we had?
I think his longest drive was 20-something yards.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's not like Nuss was lighting it up. So we had 6 points when he got benched.
I just think it's unfair to bench him.
Yeah, I mean,
like, what are you doing benching him? What are we playing for here?
Yeah, there's an argument for that for sure.
The quarterback that didn't transfer who could have, who probably should have at this point.
Definitely should have, yeah.
It's like he might have an NFL future. What are you doing benching him trying to go 8-4?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's definitely fair. He probably should have transferred in.
He deserves to be playing.
Yeah. And he's definitely got the talent, but it is head scratching.
And he's not playing bad enough to be benched.
Yeah, and I would agree with that. And that's like I said, I asked you, so I was like, was he playing that bad? And I wasn't paying attention. So, yeah, no, I didn't think he was playing bad enough to get benched. But it does just feel like you're hitting your head against a wall. And
maybe try benching all 5 of the linemen and see if the second string can block better.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I will see. Look, if they come out and say he gets starter reps and all of that, if we can't put points up on the board against Arkansas, which is the worst defense in the SEC, and probably and then some, I don't know. It's been just a huge just waste of a season and a lot of wasted money on players. But the narrative changed quick. I was seeing a lot of people that were kind of banging the drum, like a lot of the notable shows in Baton Rouge and all of that, like they were like, it's time for Nuss, basically. Like they felt like, I was surprised how quickly the narrative flipped, I guess.
Oh, they've been saying that, but they're idiots.
No, there's a couple people that were on in his camp, like up until that game. And then because they were like, it's time. So that's why I asked you. I was like, did I miss something?
Yeah, I think it's completely ridiculous. I thought his best drive was his last drive.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens against Arkansas if they can start putting something together. Last thing before we get to the recap, Nick Saban. I think it was Bet Online, which you got to take these with a grain of salt, but they released odds to be the next LSU head coach. Nick Saban was the favorite at 2-1. Do you buy that?
No.
No, I don't either. There's like a disclaimer, the max bet on it's $25 in the fine print, so nobody noticed that. That's just a way for them to – people are going to see that and go, oh, Nick Saban, there must be some inside info. They're going to bet $25 on it. That offshore book is just going to make a bunch of money on people not really knowing what's going on. It's like, who knows? Maybe something is going on, but the guy who runs Bet Online does not have the inside info on who's going to be the head coach of LSU. But I did think that was interesting. That sparked a lot of talk today. It would be cool. I would be all for it. If Saban wants to come back, run it back, and do a full circle moment, I'd be all for it. But, all right. We'll get to the recap for college. Again, hit that like and subscribe button if you don't mind. It's been a struggle this year for me in college. It just has. This is I don't remember where I was last year. It wasn't great last year. We went on an incredible run to end the season and went positive for sure and ended up making a little bit of money. We're going to need to do that again. We're going to need to repeat history there. So I jumped on Tulane Memphis under 55.5 with you. Jesus Christ. That was dead so fast. That was, I want to say it was like, they were scoring like.
I think the second half wasn't.
Well, I think they scored like 70. Yeah.
What was it, 38-22, yeah.
Yeah, scoring definitely came to a halt. There was only 3 points in the third quarter, 15 points in the fourth quarter. But you had, 35, 45. You had 52 points in the first half.
Yeah.
So, this was, I don't know. Not good.
We got hit with 2 explosives quick.
Right off the bat. Yeah, it was dead. Right when that happened, that's was okay. Put a fork in us. So that was unfortunate. Indiana minus 14.5. They almost lost outright. Said I was jumping on Indiana. I was worried maybe I'm jumping in at the wrong time. Penn State had their rally the troops moment. The defense played like a Penn State defense. It took a heroic final drive from Mendoza and the Hoosiers to go down and score and take the lead in the final minute. So incredible game and an incredible moment. I would argue probably the number one Heisman moment of the year so far. That was a fantastic drive from Mendoza, and the catch was even better. Like millimeters getting the first foot down. They call it a game of inches. Like, that was the best representation of it being a game of inches. Then we had Louisville, minus 20.5. Indiana almost lost. Louisville did lose in a head-scratching turn of events to Cal in overtime. Jeff Brom, what the fuck are we doing at home? Miller Moss, 20 of 38, 203 yards, 1 interception. My God.
Yeah, it was funny because last week, we're talking about Louisville and Virginia and possible matchup for the ACC title game, and then they both, Louisville was a really big favorite.
Yes.
But Virginia was favored by over a touchdown as well.
And I said
Chandler Morris got knocked out of the game.
He did, yes.
Early. So you can contribute most of that to him not playing because they only held Wake. How much Wake score?
16.
Yeah.
They had they only had 203 yards of offense. So yeah, you can attribute that all to Chandler Morris getting knocked out. But yeah, they ran for 163 yards. They ran for 1 yard less than they passed for. So yeah, Louisville loses outright. Just not good. I jumped on Notre Dame minus 26.5 with you. This was a slower start than I would have liked, but then they turned it on. And it was like weird where it was the heaviest rain I'd ever seen, and then it made sense. It turned into snow. I'm watching this. I'm like, this is the biggest raindrops I've ever seen in my fucking life. Clearly, I guess it was ice about to turn into snow. So we got like all the weather in this game. Notre Dame ran it up on them. Miami minus 28.5. My God. So I said on here, I bet at 27.5. I said going against my better judgment would be to take it minus 28.5 and still not shy away from that little bit of movement. I thought Miami could have ran it up on them, and they could have. But they won by 28. So if you tailed this, and I know a couple people that did, you lost by the hook. There was a backdoor touchdown with under a minute to go. Syracuse scored. If Carson Beck would have pulled his head out of his ass a little bit earlier, we would have been fine. Miami didn't score a point in the first quarter. Syracuse only scored 10 points all fucking game, and the one touchdown came in the final minute. Ricky Collins was 12 of 25 for 85 yards and 2 interceptions. So that's a frustrating one. And it only gets pretty much more frustrating with the losses from there because we had LSU plus 10.5. Felt like we knew the defense was good. We said it all year. The defense is good. You held Alabama to 20 points, and you still couldn't cover this number, which is insane. The defense played well enough for you to win that football game. 10.5, they lose by 10, or they lose by 11, sorry. So we lose Miami by a half point, LSU by a half point, and then to close out the trifecta, Arizona minus 4.5, they win by 4 points. We had 3 losses by a combined 1.5 points. And that's just, as bad as it gets. But 2 wins to close out the day. Texas A&M minus 7. They win 38-17. Texas A&M's good. Texas A&M's a really good team, and they're very much a contender in this college football playoff. And then my lock of the week, this one was fun. We hit the lock last week. We hit another lock. We're going to try to do it again and go for 3 in a row. But Texas Tech minus 10. I sat right here and I told everybody that this BYU team, that there's going to be opportunities to fade BYU. We faded them last week when we took I'm blanking on it. Who did they play? Oh, no, I'm tripping. Sorry. We did not fade them last week. I had said there was going to be opportunities going forward where BYU is going to be outmatched, and we saw that with Texas Tech. Texas Tech was laying 10. They won 29-7, and to be quite honest with you, they should have put up 40+. They got into the red zone multiple times, couldn't come away with touchdowns, and then it just left a lot of points on the table. So Texas Tech's really good, and BYU was just outmatched. I've been talking about Bachmeier not being good enough. He threw it 38 times. He was 23 of 38, 188 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. I felt like they would have the rush defense to bottle up L.J. Martin and force Bachmeier to beat them. That's the exact script. The way that it went, like everything that I thought would happen happened. It was to a T. L.J. Martin, 35 yards, 3.5 yards per carry. Forced Bachmeier to throw it 38 times. They're not going to have success. He couldn't do it. So Texas Tech wins 29-7. We cash our lock of the week with the Red Raiders -10. 3-6 on the year, or on the week, sorry. 36, 50, and 4. 4-7 in my locks of the week. We got to get it back on track. We got to turn things around, and we are going to try to start this week. We're going to have less plays. We're going to get a little bit more selective. That's my problem. So we're going to try to learn from our mistakes. You had 6 plays. You went 3-3, and you did hit your lock of the week. Any major takeaways?
Well, biggest takeaway is Lagway.
I wanted to take fucking Kentucky.
The shit closed at 5.5.
I wanted to take Kentucky. But it's like I said, I felt like you were going to get Florida's best effort against Georgia. I thought they did enough to win that game the week before. If Lagway makes a better throw, or if the officials give the Florida that catch, really if he makes a better throw, it's a touchdown. But it was a catch, and they could have had a chance to win that game there at the end. And I think we saw that. They came out and didn't give a rat's ass.
Well, the problem here was Florida's defense.
Yeah.
They made this quarterback look like an all-pro.
But that's what I'm saying. Florida's defense is damn good. We've seen it all year. I think they packed it in. I think they don't give a shit. At least in that game. That's why I felt like the letdown from the Georgia game, that the spot called for Kentucky, I felt like. Did I think Kentucky was going to win 38-7? Fuck no. But at home, after Florida coming up short against Georgia, I wanted to do it. I didn't fucking do it, though. Lagway only threw fucking 11 times. Or no, I'm sorry, 19 times. He had 11 completions. He had 3 interceptions. That's insane. He sucks. He sucks.
Yeah, that's a quarterback that deserves to be benched.
Yeah, and he did get benched.
It's a difference.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they said he was going to be the next Cam Newton. He's not. Probably going to transfer. Who knows where he's going to go? Maybe LSU.
South Florida.
Maybe. Is that, like, confirmed?
No, but the type of school he needs to go to.
Yeah. Any other major takeaways? We were on the same on 3 of them. So.
Yeah, not too much,
Yeah, so 3-3. You hit your lock. Easy winner. LSU, Alabama under 49.5 brings you to 27, 27-2, 7-4 in your locks of the week. Yeah, you're just kind of plodding along, going 500.
I go
every week.
3-3, 2-2 every week.
Yeah. Hey, it's better than going 3-6 every week, or 4-5. But we look ahead. College football week 12. And we're going to try to get back on track, God willing. Do you have anything Wednesday, Thursday, Friday?
My lock's going to be on that Thursday game.
Wow. Troy and Old Dominion on ESPN. Do you have YouTube TV? You're not going to be able to watch this game.
No, I don't have YouTube.
What do you have?
Spectrum.
Okay. You're stuck in 2010, huh?
Stuck in where you can still watch it.
Oh, I got it all. I got Hulu. I got YouTube TV and Hulu. Didn't even know.
They still don't have it?
That's like I got up here. No, they still don't. We recorded last week.
Does ESPN have a quad box?
No. And that's what
drag.
sucks. That's what sucks. But we got up here last week, and typically I would have bitched about what was going on. But then I found out that Lindsay's been paying for Hulu too, like for Disney Plus and all of that, and for the baby will watch movies or whatever. So I was like, I can't get up here and bitch about that. I've got it. Like, I can't. So that just lets you know, if I'm up here ranting about something, it's what I truly believe. I'm not faking it. I've been watching ESPN on Hulu. The inconvenience is I got to bring my iPad out, and I got to watch games on the iPad. I can watch the quad box on the iPad. I got whatever games on ESPN on the TV. So your locks on Thursday. Got a lot of teams that we've been on quite a few times playing on Friday, but I don't have any action on it. Did you look at any of them? Louisville at home taking on Clemson. Money's come in on Clemson, I think rightfully so, after what you saw from Louisville.
Yeah, I think it's just I don't want to be involved because of what happened last week. Kind of unsure what you're going to get.
What, would you lean Louisville?
Yeah.
I would almost lean Clemson the way they were running that fucking ball. But yeah, not strong enough. But I also just had to watch Louisville play like shit. Really, it's Miller Moss. Miller Moss has a problem. And I've kind of said that all year. And then you got Minnesota and Oregon. Oregon's laying 25.5. I almost took Minnesota, but I can't do it. I said I was done with them. All right. So your locks on Thursday, how many total do you have on Saturday?
3.
Okay. All right, for my first one, I'm going to go to Wisconsin at Indiana. Are you on this? All righty. Could be square. I'll preface with that. But I'm going to go right back to the Hoosiers here. Like I said, that last drive from Mendoza in Indiana was incredible. Penn State's defense showed up and gave them a game. That was Penn State's last hurrah of a complete letdown of a season. I think IU is going to get back to regular schedule programming here, and I think they're going to dominate Wisconsin. The quarterback situation for Wisconsin's a mess after the injury to Billy Edwards Jr. to start the season. This past game, Danny O'Neal had to get carted off. They brought in freshman Carter Smith. He got the bulk of the work. They had multiple people throw the football. Carter Smith got the bulk of the work. He went 3 for 12 passing, 8 yards on 3 for 12. He did provide a spark running the ball, though. He ran in a touchdown. He did more with his legs than he did with his arm. If you're going to give Indiana a game, you have to be able to pass the football because they've got the seventh ranked run defense. They just held Penn State to 3 yards per carry. Against Washington, Wisconsin was 2 of 14 on third down, and they had 48 passing yards. 24 of those came from the kicker on a fake. So I just don't see the path to success for this Wisconsin team because I don't think they're going to have success running the ball. You're going to force – I'm assuming they're going to go with Carter Smith. I haven't seen anything saying that Billy Edwards Jr. is going to play or anything like that. So I don't know how Wisconsin puts points up on the board. I think after what happened last week with the scare and with Indiana, that was just a really good – on paper coming into the season, that was a really good Penn State defense. They finally played like it after all the turmoil that they had for this season. I think we could see Indiana get back on track here and lay a big number on Wisconsin. So I'll lay 29.5 with the Hoosiers. It's a lot. It may be square. Maybe we see money come in on the Badgers and this close around 28, or maybe it goes the other way. I don't fucking know. But I think Indiana can put up a big number here. Do you have thoughts on it?
No, not really. I know I couldn't bet Wisconsin again after O'Neal took over as the quarterback.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Edwards got hurt in the game you were on.
The first game of the year.
Yeah.
And it was a push. Would have been an easy winner if Edwards didn't go down with the knee injury.
And this is their second year in a row because they had Van Dyke go down against maybe Alabama last year or the year before that. So, yeah, I'll go Hoosiers minus 29.5. What is your first play on Saturday?
Eastern Michigan at Ball State. We were on Eastern Michigan last week, and I said last week I've been impressed with Noah Kim and Eastern Michigan's offense, but sometimes things just seem to go not as smooth as they should. Ball State offensively is not very good, ranking outside the top 100 in most offensive categories. But one thing they do is they stay committed to the run. Eastern Michigan, incredibly poor rush defense, ranking 134th in opponent yard per rush and 135th in total rush defense. I get the feel that Ball State kind of mucks this game up here, so we're going to take Ball State plus 2.5 at home against Eastern Michigan.
All righty. For my next one, I will go to try to go in chronological order here. 11 a.m. kick on Saturday. We're going to go Arizona going on the road to take on Cincinnati. We were just on Arizona last week, laying 4.5. They won by 4. I'm going to be honest with you. Even though they did get the win, I really wasn't that impressed with the performance. I think Kansas lacks a lot of weapons on the outside in comparison to what they had last year. They had a lot of production that they had to make up for. I just don't think the guys that they went and got in the portal are doing the job. Cincinnati, on the other hand, Sorsby's playing extremely well, and I think they've got a couple guys on the outside that are going to have success. So I think they will be able to put points up on the board against this Arizona team. I think my notes are fucking a wreck, and it's throwing me for a loop. The strength of the Cincinnati defense is the run defense. So I do think that they will be able to put Arizona in some obvious passing down situations behind the sticks. And Fafita, the numbers are good, and he's having a good season. But I don't know. Something's off, and I don't like it. And I think that they'll be able to put him in a position where it's obvious he's got to pass, and I don't think he's going to have enough success, whereas I think Cincinnati will be able to put up a big number here. Arizona's going to score their fair share, but Cincinnati will be able to pull away in this one. So I'm going to lay 6.5 points with the Bearcats. Thoughts on that?
I guess I would lean that way.
What were your thoughts on, I guess because we were both on Arizona. I felt fortunate for them. I felt like it was fortunate for them to even win.
Yeah. It felt like they were going to win, but you knew they couldn't cover at that point.
Yeah.
That's the way I felt watching it.
Yeah, I don't know. It didn't look sharp, and that was at home against, like I said, a Kansas team that I just don't think is as explosive as they used to be. Daniels is playing well enough, and having
How'd they do
really
running the ball?
Who, Arizona?
Yeah, Arizona.
I can tell you in 2 seconds. Against Kansas, Arizona had 165 yards rushing.
On how many attempts?
29, 5.7 yards per carry.
Yeah, not enough.
They were 5 of 13 on third down. Fafita was 16 of 31 for 158 yards, 2 touchdowns. So, yeah, I don't think they're going to have that success running the football in Cincinnati. And I was on Arizona against BYU, and they should have covered that game. And BYU's defense is damn good, don't get me wrong, but it's just not looked as sharp as I would like it to look with Fafita. So I think Cincinnati will put a decent amount of points up on the board, and they're going to force Arizona to be efficient on offense and execute. And you got to go on the road to do it. You're not on your home field now. You got to go across the country. So we'll see. I'm going to lay 6.5 with the Bearcats. What's your next one?
We're going to go to Maryland, Illinois. Illinois' 15-point favorites. After starting 4-0, Maryland has now dropped 5 in a row. I like Illinois, but Illinois' defense struggles at times. 128th nationally in third down defense. And a pass defense and a pass rush both ranking outside the top 100. I think the freshman for Maryland, Malik Washington at quarterback, specifically his legs here, presents problems for Illinois' defense. So we're going to take Maryland plus 15 on the road.
Okay. All righty, for my next one, we're going 2:30 p.m. kick. Oklahoma, big game. Oklahoma going on the road to take on Alabama, number 11 versus number 4. LSU's defense did more than enough to stop Alabama, held them to only 56 rushing yards, 4 of 13 on third down. This Alabama offense is not as efficient as it seems, or like Ty Simpson's in the Heisman conversation, and they have these weapons on the outside, and it's not as smooth sailing as it should be. Alabama lets a lot of teams hang around. We are not taking Oklahoma, though, because I do not trust John Mateer. I don't think he's looked good. And once they hit a step up in competition, John Mateer just doesn't look that great. Against Tennessee, Tennessee was the better team. Aguilar just did not rise to the occasion at all. He held them back. But Oklahoma did not win that game because Mateer was playing well. I don't think Mateer is going to play well in this game either, but I don't trust Alabama to score consistently on this Oklahoma defense. So we are going to go under 45.5. I do still think that this Oklahoma defense is very, very good, and I think they're going to show it in this game. And they could give Bama a game and bring this down to the wire, but I don't think this is going to be high scoring. So I'll go Oklahoma, Alabama under 45.5. You have just your lock left?
No, I have one more in my lock.
Okay, you can go with it.
We're going to Utah, Baylor. Utah's 8.5-point favorites. The point total 60.5. Stylistically, this seems like a nightmare matchup for Baylor. Defensively, they really struggle stopping the run. A rush defense ranking 114th nationally. Dampier. It's like, how are they going to defend Dampier here? I get the feeling that Baylor somehow manages to keep up in this game with their offense. If Utah has a weakness defensively, it is against the run. I think that could take some pressure off of Sawyer Robinson here. So I expect some explosive plays from both offenses here. I think Utah really gets it going, and Baylor kind of has to fight their way to keep up here. So we're going Utah-Baylor over 60.5.
Yeah, I would certainly lean that way. I need a miracle from Baylor. I got Baylor over 7.5 for the win total. I cashed Syracuse under 5.5 last week. And like we were talking about, you got to finish the whole season on some. I think it was maybe FanDuel. They paid it out, so that was nice. But those are always nice because you place them a long time ago, and it's almost like, not that you forget about them. Like, I was still keeping track on them, but when they hit, you're like, okay, good, little bump. We're gonna need Baylor to run the table here. We're gonna need Baylor to win all these games, so they're gonna have to shock Utah at home. And then after that, you got Arizona and Houston. So win this one, and then we got a realistic possibility here. Yeah, the problem with this Baylor team is certainly not their offense; it's their fucking dog shit defense. So I don't know how you. It's a high number, but I'd like to hear the person's argument on why this would go why it would go under. I've got one more, and then my lock as well, and we're gonna go to the other big game. Top 10 matchup, Texas, going on the road to take on Georgia. Number 10 versus number 5. Georgia's laying 6.5. Slowly but surely over the last couple weeks, quietly, Arch Manning's been settling into his role as a college quarterback. I don't know if everybody's noticed that. He was in the midst of producing a big-time comeback on the road against Mississippi State, down 17-plus points, I think it was. He ended up getting hurt. He did his fair share to get him back into that game. He got hurt. The backup came in, and they sealed the deal. Then he turned right back around against Vanderbilt. He was 25 of 33, 328 yards passing, and 3 touchdowns. That final score was misleading. You were on Texas in that game, I think laying 2.5. Some people got 3, and Vanderbilt ended up backdooring their way 2 of 3. That was a misleading final score. Texas was handling that game for 3.5 quarters of it. This Georgia defense is more vulnerable than what we've seen in years past. I've said that quite a few times this year. I've been saying it. I'm going to keep saying it. Florida had opportunities to win that game. There was a lot of questionable calls, and we've seen that with Georgia on a number of occasions this year, like in the Auburn game, for example. Poor Hugh Freeze might still have a job if the officials called that game correctly. Georgia is hell-bent on establishing the run. They're 17th in attempts, 17th nationally in attempts per game at 41.8. Texas's run defense grades out number 6 on Pro Football Focus, and they are the number 3rd ranked nationally in yards allowed. The Longhorns defense is going to help them keep it in it. Let me rephrase that. The Longhorns defense is going to do what they need to do to keep Texas in this game long enough that maybe we get to see Arch Manning finally have a Manning moment. So I'm taking Texas plus 6.5. The defense will keep them in this game. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's definitely interesting, right? Because
Texas is live in this game.
Yeah. I think, I mean, Georgia's defense just isn't that impressive.
No.
So certainly Texas, it'll be interesting to see. Maybe they can slow down Georgia's offense. Stockton's decent.
But they've run it a shitload, and they've had success running it, and I want to see what can – and he is. He's honestly answered a lot of questions. We had a lot of question marks on multiple quarterbacks coming in. I think he's kind of answered the bell more than most of them. But if you get put in a position where you're not having any success running the ball against a very good run defense, what is he going to do? We're going to find out. Getting nearly a touchdown, I'm going to take the Longhorns. This might be Arch Manning's moment. Texas might win this game outright. All we have left are our locks.
Yeah.
All right, no such thing as a lock, but if there was...
It's a lock, Kramer. You've had this thing under control for almost 3 years now. But it's a lock.
They need that fucking juice. They need that next bet. Come on. Yes! When they win, they go fucking crazy.
right, we have hit 2 locks in a row. We're going to try to go for number 3, and we're going to do it in the form of Notre Dame minus 11.5. We're going right back to the Irish. Going on the road to take on Pitt. Pat Narduzzi came out and told you they don't care about this game. He said we could lose by 100. It doesn't matter as long as we win the next 2. I'm going to take Pat Narduzzi's word for it. Notre Dame's defense has played much better. We saw them get 40 points put up on them in a shootout. They scored 40 themselves. They lost 41-40 to A&M. Since then, in the last 6 matchups, they've only had one team score more than two touchdowns or more on them, and that was USC, one of the better offenses in college football. I think the Notre Dame defense is going to be able to get after the quarterback early and often. You got a Pitt team who's only thinking about winning ACC games. Maybe that's some psychological warfare. I don't know. I don't think it is. I think he's telling the truth, and I'm going to take his word for it. This Notre Dame team is in must-win mode after what happened, and they need style points. So this is a team that's significantly better than their ranking. They're probably a top 5 team in college football right now. So I will lay 11.5 points with Notre Dame as my lock of the week.
Yeah, A&M, A&M, how am I trying to say this? The game between A&M and Notre Dame, right? A&M's really fucking good. A&M is certainly a national title contender, and really Notre Dame was unfortunate to lose that game, right? They're going up by 7, and they're going to kick the extra point, and is it Tyler Buckner's back over there?
Yeah.
Fucked up the hold.
Yes.
And they're only up by 6, and then it's a 4th down. There's a clear holding penalty on that 4th down where A&M scored the game-winning, what ended up being the game-winning touchdown. So
very slim margin for error, and like meaning razor thin to where we're looking at this Notre Dame team completely different.
Yeah,
completely different. So yeah, I agree. They and that's a really good A&M defense that they put 40 points up on. So, what is your lock of the week?
Troy at Old Dominion. Old Dominion's 11.5 point favorites. The point total's 52.5. I think this is a tough matchup for Troy. Old Dominion defensively, where they struggle is against the run, 101st in rush defense, but Troy ranks 129th offensively in yards per rush. Troy's going to find themselves, and it seems like a lot of obvious passing situations here, and they've struggled protecting the passer. They're going up against an Old Dominion defense that's 8th nationally in sack percentage, and they're only allowing a success rate of 28% on passing downs. On the other side, I think Old Dominion has the rushing attack to kind of control this game, but that the Troy defense can get after the passer as well. So maybe looking at a couple of drives getting stalled by some sacks here. So we're going Troy, Old Dominion, under 52.5.
That's the lock of the week.
Yep.
All righty. All right. That is our best bets for college football. We'll recap very quickly. I'm going to go Indiana minus 29.5. Oklahoma, Alabama under 45.5. Texas plus 6.5. Cincinnati minus 6.5. And Notre Dame minus 11.5 is the lock of the week.
We're going Troy, Old Dominion under 52.5 for the lock. Ball State plus 2.5. Maryland plus 15. And Utah, Baylor over 60.5.
There you go. That is our best bets for college football. I'm minimizing the number of plays a little bit. We got to try to get some winners.
Yeah, I think this is a tricky week. Not like, I guess you got a couple ranked matchups there with Texas, Georgia, and then Pitt, Notre Dame. But I guess outside of Georgia and Texas, nothing really sticking out as far as like college football playoff teams that are in the mix.
Well, Oklahoma, Bama.
Yeah. But where's Oklahoma ranked now?
Oh, yeah, no, they're not in the playoff picture, but Bama's 4. They actually just released the bracket. Miami in at number 11. I thought Miami was done for, but then you had Virginia, you had Louisville lose. I guess all of a sudden Miami's got a new life.
Yeah, with a win against Notre Dame, right?
That is true, yes. And the win against Notre Dame. All righty, that is our best bets for college football. We will recap NFL Week 10 and then give you our best bets for NFL Week 11. NFL has been the moneymaker. We're going to try to keep that happening. Let's see. All righty, Thursday night, uncharacteristically, we lost the Thursday game. We had the Broncos Raiders over 42.5. I'm going to be honest with you. I looked at a lot of different weather reports. I saw 5 mile an hour winds. That was not fucking 5 mile an hour winds. So they need to figure out where their Bob Breck is. They need to find a Bob Breck, somebody reliable, to let me know how the fucking wind is going to be in Denver. Because the ball was on the ground and it was rolling over, like multiple revolutions. I was like, okay, we're fucked. We were talking about it in terms of side. We both leaned Raiders. It was too many points. I've been saying all year, I felt like this Broncos offense, specifically Bo Nix, is just not playing well. But the Raiders defense has been so damn bad. So that's why we went with the over, because we felt like Raiders would be able to have some success. And then the Broncos would still be able to have some success, even with Bo Nix not playing spectacular, in my personal opinion. And the Raiders had opportunities. That there was a deep ball. They're throwing it to garbage cans. That deep ball that was a good throw was just dropped. That would have been a huge difference maker in the game. A big play to Genty that they brought back for some chicken shit holding call. A lot of missed opportunities, to be quite honest, for the Raiders. But and then as far as the Broncos, it's like, oh my God, it was a frustrating one. So we lose Thursday, and then we rallied off a shitload of wins on Sunday in the form of, we didn't lose a bet on Sunday. I had Ravens. Well, we started it off actually with your lock of the week, Falcons plus 6.5 in Berlin. It got a little dicey because it went to overtime, but the Falcons were inside this number the entire game, just about, I'm pretty sure. And then they had a legitimate chance to win this game and probably should have won the game. Colts put together a drive, force overtime. And then the Falcons ended up with the ball first. So at 6.5, because this was a contest play for us as well, at 6.5, you couldn't lose. That's why. But when they did the coin toss, I'm pretty sure the Falcons player said receive, right? Or no.
Here's what happened. They fucked up the coin toss because the Colts were the designated home team, but they asked the Colts the coin flip. So during the commercial, they had to redo the coin flip.
That's what it was. The Colts player said receive.
Yeah, because they ended up winning the coin toss, but they fucked it up because they asked the wrong team heads or tails. So they had to redo it when it went to commercial. And that's how the Falcons ended up getting the ball
I was
first.
so confused. And then that's what you texted. You were like, these officials are morons. And I'm like, because I'm watching it, and I'm like, fuck. I'm like, we can't ever – it feels like we can never get the coin toss to go our way. But I'm like, fuck, if Atlanta gets the ball first, then we're good. Nothing. The Colts score. It's game over. They don't need to kick the extra point. They'll win by 6, which is what happened. But then we go on the field, and I wasn't paying all attention right away. And I see Atlanta's got the ball. I'm like, wait, what the fuck is going on? I was like, so wait, we're good. But I was like, but I just in my brain, I was like, we're not good. We're fucked. But yeah, so it worked out. Falcons lose by 6. Realistically, had a serious chance of winning that game.
Yeah.
That offense, though, Penix, and if Penix is not missing wide open receivers, then Pitts is dropping one when he's got 40 yards of space to run. And it's just a ton of talent with not a lot of execution. Not enough execution, I guess.
Yeah, the funny thing is the Falcons might have been 0 for 10 on third down.
I think they were. At least at one point they were. They ended, it was 0 for 8. But the Colts were 2 for 12.
Yeah.
So I had the Ravens -4. They got the job done. But when I tell you, the officials were trying so hard to keep the Vikings in this game. So hard. McCarthy threw his 3rd interception of the day. The ball didn't move a fucking inch. The nose of the ball touched the ground, did not move an inch, and they called it incomplete. There was a couple PI calls that were just terrible. It was multiple instances where I'm like, I'm about to pull my hair out because they're trying so hard to keep this a game. McCarthy stinks. I told everybody McCarthy sucked. People tried to come for me on Twitter. That motherfucker sucked his whole career. He's going to suck for the rest of the time in the league, and it's going to be a short stint. He was 20 of 42, 248 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions. Really, it was 3 interceptions. Ravens end up winning by 8. Should have been more. We were both on the Rams -3.5. The 49ers kept kind of poking their head through the door to make it somewhat a game, but the Rams, it was never, I don't think it ever, they would make it like a 7-point game, and then the Rams would answer back. So it kept getting to the points where I'm like, okay, if the Rams if the Rams don't execute on this next drive, then maybe San Francisco has a chance to tie it. And the Rams just kept putting points up on the board. They had 14 points in the first quarter, 7-7, and then they closed it out with a 14-point fourth quarter. So 42-26, the Rams dominate the 49ers. My lock of the week was the Lions, minus 8.5. We were on the wrong side. Actually, in that Rams game, we were on the right side of CLV. It was 3.5. I think it closed at like 6, maybe 6.5. We were on the wrong side of CLV with the Lions and Commanders. I'm pretty sure that this, I want to say this closed at 7.5, maybe even 7. The Lions killed them, 44-22. It was an outmatched Commanders team. They were 2 of 10 on third down. They only had 288 yards. The Lions had 546 yards. The Lions had Deron Payne punch a player, and then Javon Kinlaw pushed a ref. Back-to-back, bam, 2 of your better defensive linemen get thrown out of the game. It was a disaster from that point forward. So we had an undefeated Sunday. Bam had a good Sunday, too. I think he won his one play. So technically we went 5-0 if you count Bam's play on Sunday. And then we closed it out with the Packers minus 2.5. And I'll tell you what, it's just, I don't get it. It was a defensive battle. Look, you're the Packers. You play in Lambeau. That's your home field. You should be able to fucking play in the elements. They couldn't do it, though. Jordan Love turning the ball over right before halftime in a game where there's been no motherfucking points scored, for him to try to shovel pass it as he's getting sacked to Josh Jacobs instead of just taking the goddamn sack. You fumble the ball, you come away with no points. When you would have got 3, you lose by 3. So I don't know what it is with this fucking Green Bay team, but I'm tired of it. I really am. It's a flawed team, and it starts with Jordan Love. He's just not good. He's talented, but he's not good. He makes rookie mistakes consistently. I'm so tired of watching this dude throw off his back foot, and you're tall as shit. You don't need to, like, I've never seen somebody get so many balls tipped at the line of scrimmage because he's fading away. I don't know. I'm tired of this Packers team. I really am. But I go 3-2. You go 2-1. Another profitable week. Have you had a losing week? I think you had one. You had one bad week. I think you had 1-0-3. And I think that was your only losing week.
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure.
I don't remember having a 0-3 week.
I could have swore you did. Could be wrong. But, I mean, it would be hard to believe with how the record's gone, but I thought you did. I could be wrong. But I don't know. We'd have to go back and look. Regardless, I've only had one losing week. It's been a very, very good run in the NFL. We're a little more than halfway through. We're going to try to keep it going. I overall am 34-22, 6-4 in my locks of the week. You were 24-14, 6-4 in your locks of the week. So we're both 60% in the locks. We're both north of 60% overall. And we're going to try to do it again. We're going to turn our attention to week 11 in the NFL. We go to Thursday Night Football. We're in agreement?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. I mean, do you have a compelling argument for the other side?
No, you couldn't convince me to bet the other side.
All right, so the Thursday night matchup, you've got the Jets going on the road to take on the Patriots. Little bit of money has come in on the Patriots today. It was 11.5. It looks like it's 12.5 now. Oh, even more money came in. 13 on the Patriots. No, there's 12.5. There's 12.5. Well, we might have, it might have to be 13. Yeah. All right. So, that sucks. I would rather the 11.5 that it was. I would feel better about it for sure, but it's not that big of a difference, I guess. Anything under 2 touchdowns, I'm taking the Patriots. We both are. We've agreed. The Patriots have a top 5 rush defense. The Jets can't pass the ball. You've got Garrett Wilson now hurt. Aaron Glenn freaking out on people in the media about leaking injuries. The Jets had a misleading score against the Browns because they only had 1 offensive touchdown. They had a punt return touchdown and then a kick return touchdown back-to-back. The Their one offensive touchdown came on a 42-yard screen pass to Breece Hall. 42 yards, Justin Fields only had 54 yards passing. This is a team that can't complete a forward pass. In the year 2025, it just doesn't work. It's not going to work. This is a very good New England rush defense. It's a top 5 rushing defense in the league.
I think they're number 1.
And they could be. Yeah, they very well may be. Where is the success going to come from on the offensive side of the ball for the Jets? A Jets team that traded Quinnen Williams and traded Sauce Gardner and is trading all of their best players because they are rebuilding. And they just won a game last week. You know what a rebuilding team doesn't want to do? A team that is trying to tank for a better draft pick by trading all of their best players. They don't want to win 2 games in a row. And you've got the New England Patriots sitting at 8-2 with Drake May possibly eyeing down an MVP trophy in his third season? Second? Yeah, second season.
First full season.
Yeah, as a starter, yeah. On a primetime game, this is a great opportunity for Drake May to introduce himself to the people that don't watch all the Patriot games or all the games in the NFL. I think the Patriots, it's the only side I can lean. You couldn't pay me to take the Jets. You just can't do it. We watched them have another game where they completed -10 passing yards. Maybe if they still had the top defensive players, like maybe you could say, okay, it's going to be an ugly game. They're going to muck it up, and they're going to play good defense and stay inside this number, and it'll just be a tough offensive performance from the Patriots. But they're getting rid of all their best defensive players, and the Patriots' offense is clicking. You got Travion Henderson having success running the football now, and then Drake May's just not really making the mistakes. And he's got weapons to throw the ball to. We're going to lay 13 points with the New England Patriots on Thursday night. I am 7-3 betting the Thursday game. We're going to try to get to 8-3. Do you have any additional thoughts on it or concerns? It's obviously a big number on a short week, but
yeah, I mean, the simple way to look at it is the Jets would be the worst team in the league if the Titans weren't so damn bad. The Titans just are way worse than everybody else. And at this point, it's like the Jets just don't have – they might have the worst offense. I don't know how it stacks up against the Titans, but definitely those two teams. It's just like how – and their defense isn't that good. So it's like, how do they keep up here? Yeah. I don't see it. Like you were saying, I don't see their defense keeping them in this game by any means. It would have to be something terrible happening to New England.
Yeah.
Like May getting injured
yes,
and not playing for the full game or something like that.
Yeah, I agree. And yeah, I agree. It's a big number, but it is what it is. Sometimes teams just beat the shit out of teams in the NFL. It doesn't happen often, but sometimes it does. And I'm going to be honest with you, the Aaron Glenn tenure in New York, it reeks of Gerard Mayo in New England last year. It reeks of like this might be a one and done because it's been really bad. It's been very dysfunctional. He's now going after people, reporters in the media. Like his press conference today was just caught me as somebody who is feeling the pressure. So you get beat by 40 points. That might be the nail in the coffin. So this is just a Patriots team that it was ever since that game against Pittsburgh where they turned the ball over so many times. They should have won that game with ease. Cleaned up the turnovers. All of a sudden, they're playing efficient football. You got Drake May legitimately in the MVP conversation in his second season. So it's Patriots or nothing. If you don't want to take the Patriots, God bless you if you feel like you're taking the Jets, but it ain't going to be us. Patriots minus 13 for Thursday night. How many total do you have?
I think just 2 more.
Okay. Go with your one before you lock then.
We're going to go back to the Falcons. I'm going to lay 3.5 with the Falcons. I guess to put it like, look, the Panthers looked really hot, right? Coming into that Saints game, and then you're playing a Saints team that's okay. Not great, but you only score, 7 points in the game?
Yeah.
I still think the Falcons are somewhat underrated here. This is also a rematch of a game where the Falcons got completely smashed, right? 30-0. I think the Falcons Falcons win here.
Okay. I certainly lean that way as well. I just it did not look good from Carolina. So they the Falcons need. This was a team that was showing promise and showing signs of like being a contender in the NFC South. They don't even have a better record than the Carolina Panthers. So, and they've had some kind of, you had the tough game against New England, a tough game against the Colts. You got to get right. You got to get back on track. They got to do it now. You get to go back home. It's now or never pretty much. So, this was a tough week, to be quite honest with you. And we've got some good matchups, though. Let's see. I want to see where this number's going, just so I'm sure before I potentially give it out. All right. I am going to the Seahawks and the Rams. And this one is, you got two teams in the NFC West, both 7-2. The Rams are my number one overall team in my power ratings. They're probably the hottest team in football right now, but you can make a serious argument that the Seattle Seahawks are as well. I'm going to take the 3 points with the Seahawks, believe it or not. And it's because I think these teams are pretty damn close in terms of the matchup, and I don't put a ton of stock in the home field advantage for the Rams. That stadium, that's not a traditional home field advantage for either the Rams or the Chargers. It hasn't been. So, at a flat 3, it looks like there was a juice 3.5. I'm not going to give out the juice 3.5. If it was a 110, obviously we would jump all over that. I really am just extremely impressed with this Seattle team. We were on Seattle last week in the contest. There was the talk of the Seahawks at home. Wow, they don't play good at home, and they play much better on the road. They got back to they're playing good at home. It's a fucking really good home field advantage, clearly. But they do play extremely well on the road. They're 4-0 on the road, and they've handled business. I'm going to take the 3 points with the Seahawks here. It's not my lock, but I feel like these teams are pretty evenly matched. I think Darnold's playing not as good as Stafford, but not that far off. Jackson Smith and Jigba might be he is one of the best wide receivers in the league. And you can make a serious argument that he's approaching the top of the mountain. So with the two-headed monsters at running back with Kenneth Walker and Charbonnet, it's a good compliment, a good when one gets tired, bring the other one in. You don't skip a beat. So I like what the Seahawks are able to do on offense, but the defense is playing damn good. I think getting DeMarcus Lawrence back healthy, you saw it last week. They had back-to-back scoop and score touchdowns. They were really bothering Brissett and a Cardinal team that who did the Cardinals? Oh, they just beat the Cowboys. They just went in and dominated the Cowboys on the road. So yeah, I'm gonna take the points with the Seahawks, and I very nearly stayed away from this one because I do have a very high respect for the Rams. But what are your thoughts on this one? This is probably the premier matchup of the week, in my opinion.
Yeah, at 3, I lean Seahawks, but I have a ton of respect for the way the Rams have looked recently. The offense is looking somewhat unstoppable. But then again, it's like, man, Seattle defensively and offensively maybe have been one of the most consistent teams so far.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's going to be really interesting. Darnold's going to have to protect the ball here if they want to have a chance to win.
Yeah, I mean the two highest graded quarterbacks by Pro Football Focus, Matt Stafford, Sam Darnold. So it's very evenly matched teams. So I'll take the team getting the points because I don't put a lot of stock into the SoFi home field advantage. So that's pretty much what it boils down to. So all you have is your lock left? Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go to – I was a little conflicted here because I like two plays in this one. I like side or total. Chiefs and Broncos. And I think I'm going to lay it with the Chiefs. I was very much on the fence. I almost took under 44.5. Which side would you lean? Or of those two, I guess. Or you could even lean Broncos. And who knows? Maybe is it your lock?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't have a strong opinion on it. I guess, yeah, I would lean more towards the under.
Yeah.
But it's like the Raiders had some chances there, especially in the first half. And we kind of touched on it earlier, but it's like it seems like those chances they had, the Chiefs are a team that takes advantage of that.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
I don't know. I think the Broncos offensively, man, just haven't had a lot going for them, right? They're doing a lot of knick-knack, paddywhack bullshit, and it's just not working because they're like, it was the strangest thing last Thursday. They were throwing screen passes, and on one of them, like, the receiver has another receiver in front of him blocking, and he, like, runs into the defender instead of running away from him.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the strangest things. And R.J. Harvey, just not that great of an instinctual player, it seems, at times, getting the ball in his hands and navigating through blocks. So, I don't know. The Broncos have a lot to figure out offensively.
Yeah, and so defensively, we're gonna lay 3.5 points with the Chiefs on the road, divisional matchup against the number one defense in football. But this defense is banged up. Pat Surtain, arguably the best corner, although I would lean Derek Stingley. Pat Surtain is out. He's been out for the last few weeks. Alex Singleton just found out that he had a testicular tumor that he had to have removed. He's their leader in tackles, so he's not playing. It's a banged-up Broncos defense. It's still a damn good Broncos defense, but you've got Patrick Mahomes at quarterback. So can they get after the passer? Sure. It's not going to bother Patrick Mahomes like it bothers Geno Smith. With Rashee Rice back, this offense for the Chiefs is clicking, and it has pretty much been as simple as that, whereas he just adds a whole new dynamic to this offense that they were missing in his absence. I don't think Bo Nix is playing well. I don't think he's played well in a number of games this year. They're 8-2. They're 5-0 at home. I haven't really seen anything. I understand he put up 44 on the Cowboys. Like we've talked about before, we could put up a couple points on the Cowboys. I don't think that Bo Nix is going to be able to execute here, and I think the Chiefs will cover this number. So I'll lay 3.5 points. I was leaning towards the under as well. I'm just going to go ahead and lay the points with the Chiefs. I'm not normally on the Chiefs, too. These are normally the like carbon copy spots where I fade the Chiefs, but I'm not going to do it. I'm laying 3.5. And then all I have left is my lock. You as well?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, no such thing as a lock, but if there was.
It's a lock, Kramer. You've had this thing under control for almost 3 years now, but it's a lock.
They need that fucking juice. They need that next bet. They need. Come on. Yes! When they win, they go fucking crazy.
You're a bad motherfucker. Go in that shower, grab your fucking nuts, and tell the world somebody's sniffing my fucking nutsack today. Because I ain't got time to fuck around no more.
All right, for my lock of the week in the NFL, we are going to go to the Buffalo Bills, and we are going to lay 5.5 points at home taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. It boils down to I don't think Tampa can run the ball effectively enough, which is the weakness of this Buffalo defense. The Dolphins just ripped them for 200 yards, but Tampa doesn't have a Devon Achane. The Falcons, when they upset the Bills, they ripped them for 200 yards. Tampa doesn't have a Bijan Robinson. Tampa has a 25th ranked rushing offense, a hurt Bucky Irving who clearly plays a vital role in this offense that they've been missing, and then multiple pass catchers who are also hurt. Godwin's out. Mike Evans is out. I think this is a spot that Buffalo, who has some issues, we got to be honest. We got to call a spade, but I do still think Buffalo is a contender in this league, and this is a spot where they have to get back on track. So I will lay the 5.5 points. It was a fun ride with the Buccaneers early in the season, except it wasn't, because we kept fading them and they kept pulling rabbits out of their hat. those rabbits are gone. All their players are getting hurt. They can't run the ball on this Bills defense, which is the weakness. So they won't be able to exploit it. I think that Buffalo will have success, and Josh Allen has got to get the train back on the track. So I'm laying 5.5 points with Buffalo as my lock of the week. Which way are you going?
We're going to Bears, Vikings. Point spread's up to 3 now. We're going to take Bears +3. I think the Bears are kind of like a tricky team because they always seem to, pull it out right at the end. Their offense is actually pretty damn good, the second ranked rush offense in the NFL. And Vikings defensively, while they're good, if they do have a weakness, it's against the run, 22nd against the run. I think what it comes down to is can McCarthy take advantage of a poor Bears defense? And this was a game, week 1, right? A game the Bears were winning big, and McCarthy leads a 17-point fourth quarter comeback. So I think the Bears are kind of flying under the radar, even though they're 6-3. I think their offense is actually getting better and better each week. Caleb Williams seems to be taking that next step. So I like the Bears +3 here.
I lean that way. I nearly did take it. It's just they're so, I guess, inconsistent is the right word, maybe. But yeah, because one time you'll see him and you'll be like, God damn, like Caleb Williams looks like he's taking, he's getting better, but then you see the defense, or you just see certain things. I certainly lean Chicago. Another thing that I consider too is the fact that Dennis Allen's not a bad defensive coordinator. The defense is not playing well right now, but they already got to look at J.J. McCarthy. They had to watch J.J. McCarthy make this improbable comeback against them, and then they had to watch J.J. McCarthy go out and struggle against everybody except an anomaly against the Lions. So now you get a guy who's a good defensive mind, in my opinion, with tape, able to go see where he had success against you and go get to make adjustments. So I would be surprised if J.J. McCarthy came out and had the same success that he had in that second half against Chicago.
And wasn't there like a couple of pass interference calls that kept drives alive there late?
There was questionable shit, yes.
Yeah, and wasn't exactly all McCarthy's doing there down at the end.
And he ran one in, and yeah, it was a little fraudulent for sure. It was a good comeback though. He deserves his flowers. He played well. He definitely got shit back on track after what looked brutal with the pick 6 and all of that. But then we've just seen him come out, and he just looks like he doesn't belong. I don't know how the fuck he pulled out a win against the Lions. I don't know how he did that. But, yeah, I think we've just seen on a number of occasions now where he doesn't really belong as an NFL quarterback. And then we've seen one-offs. We've seen a half against the Bears. We've seen a weird game against the Lions. I'm not going to take it, but I'm in agreement with you there. So that's all we got for NFL Week 11. We are going to try to continue to stack winners. It's been a very profitable run, a lighter card, but not really. We keep it relatively conservative in the NFL. You had 3 last week. You got your 3 this week. I think I have 4. So normally I'm around 5 or 6, so a little bit less. But Bam will be back in studio with us next week. And we're going to try to keep making money. To recap in the NFL, Thursday night, we're taking the Patriots -13. I'm taking the Seahawks +3, the Chiefs -3.5, and my lock of the week is the Buffalo Bills -5.5.
We're going Patriots -13, Falcons -3.5, and Bears +3.
There you go. That is our best bets of the week for the NFL and college football slate of games. Do you have anything to say before we go?
Nope.
Episode 241 is in the books. Again, please, please, please hit that subscribe button on YouTube because we are, like I said, I think 14 subscribers away from 1,000. It's been a good run, and we're nowhere near where we want to be, but you can help us. Milestones, little milestones, and 1,000 subs is one of them, so you can help us get there. Good luck. Let's make some money. Who dat?
The house always wins. Play long enough, you never change the stakes. The house takes you. Unless, when that perfect hand comes along, you bet big, and then you take the house. I've been practicing this a little bit. Did I rush it? Felt like I rushed.
That was good. I liked it.